Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Joshua Bridwell Show. This is the podcast where we talk about your personal and professional growth, and I share stories, insights, and practical steps to help you grow. And today, I want to tackle a pretty big question in personal and professional development. It is something that is ranking within Google right now, and I honestly believe that it's because we are surrounded by influencers all the time. And I use the term influencer to not only mean people, but I mean books and movies and things just pulling us in a whole bunch of different directions. And so today I'm going to be diving into a topic that a lot of us wrestle with throughout most of our lives. And that's okay to recognize that you are struggling with this. And I hope that this episode is going to really help you discover your purpose. So finding a purpose can seem really difficult, it can seem daunting, but it is essential to living a meaningful life and feeling fulfilled within your life. And, thinking about purpose is something that might seem magical and mystical, and we see that some people just seem to have found their purpose and they lean into their purpose, and then from there, their life is just golden. But a purpose, it's not something magical. It's something that you can actively explore, and in some cases, it's something that you can create. And so in this episode, I'm going to share practical, actionable steps to help you discover your purpose and to help you live with intention. So before I tell you how to discover your purpose, I think it's really important for us to define what purpose is in the first place, because a lot of people get this wrong. Purpose is not something that is your actions necessarily. A purpose is your why. It's the reason behind your actions and the decisions that you make that guide your life. It's not about what you do, it's about why you do it. It's your guiding principle, the thing that gives your life meaning and motivates you to get up each and every day. So for some, that might mean entering into a relationship or focusing on your relationships, or maybe going out into the community and helping. And for some people, it's about advancing in their career. Your purpose can and will change over time. It grows with you. It's important to recognize that. So now that you know what purpose is, let's talk a little bit about what it's not, but what people believe about purpose. So there are a few myths that we're going to talk about here. The first myth is that purpose is something you find. It's not necessarily true. Many people believe that our purpose is something that is hidden. It's like a hidden treasure if you think about a pirate kind of situation, or a mystery. It's not a hidden treasure that you can dig up and discover in that way. The truth behind your purpose is that your purpose is not hiding from you. It's something that you create through your experiences, through the choices that you make, and how you reflect. Reflection is very important. Your purpose can and will change as you grow and change. Your purpose is not something that is 100% set in stone each and every step of your life. The second myth is that your purpose is found exclusively within your career. While your career is somewhere that certainly can be a part of your purpose, it doesn't have to be. Some find purpose through family or hobbies, volunteering, or, in my case, personal growth. I love growing and becoming the best version of myself. It's important to recognize that purpose is all around you. It's not just about what you do for a living. And the third myth is that purpose has to be this over-the-top thing that is world changing. We hear stories about Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, Mother Teresa. But the thing is, you don't have to be the next Steve Jobs or Mother Teresa to live life with a purpose. Purpose can be found in small, everyday decisions and actions that you make. And that might look like being a supportive friend, or a supportive husband, or a wife, a loving parent, or if you are a part of any team, whether that is a professional team, whether that's just a recreational team, or any kind of team, it can look like just being a dedicated team player. Purpose doesn't have to be over the top. It doesn't have to be a world-changing action. It's in the small decisions and the small actions that you make each and every day. And so let's talk about a few action steps that you can take in order to discover your purpose. So the very first step that I want to talk to you about is reflecting upon your values and passions. One of the best ways to discovering your purpose is to find out what's important to you, what it is that you are willing to waver from and not willing to waver from. And it's to think about what matters most to you. And to help you get there, I have a couple of questions for you. Number one, what are your core values? Well, I talked to you about this in an episode, a few episodes back. And I was telling you, you can go online, you can find a whole list of values that you can select your top 3 to 5 values and let those be the guiding values for your life. They are things like honesty or freedom and integrity, things that are going to provide you a funnel or a lens in order to make decisions for your life. The second question is, what activities make me feel energized? For me, I love going to the gym. I love going for walks. I love to read. I love to write. I love to produce content. These are things that energize me. They excite me. And so I want you to write down a list of things. There's no limit, but I do want you to talk about activities that make you feel energized. Who cares how it makes anybody else feel? This is your list. You know how you feel energized better than anybody else. Make a list of what makes you feel energized. And I want you to ask yourself this question. What do I enjoy so much that when I do it, I lose track of time? For me, that could be reading or producing content, like I previously mentioned. Those are things that excite me, and I have so much fun doing it that I lose track of time. And it's important to know that your purpose will often lie at the intersection of your values and your passions. So try making a list of both and see if there's anywhere that they cross over. The second step is for you to identify your strengths. If you don't think that you have any strengths, you're wrong. I challenge you to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself some positive affirmations, because you have strengths. It might take a little while to figure out what they are, but everyone has strengths. And so often, your purpose is going to include your natural strengths. So think about the things that come really easy to you. So they might be things that are taken for granted. Are you good at listening to other people? Are you good at solving problems, thinking creatively? Are you good at organization? I want you to write down your strengths, and I want you to reflect on how you can use those to add value to your life and how you can add value to the lives of others. That is an important step. Identify your strengths. You have them, I promise. Now, unless you're like me, I'm totally kidding. You need to reflect on your challenges and setbacks. Sometimes purpose is shaped in the struggles that we overcome. I have had a lot of struggles throughout my life, as have you. And I have a ring that I'll usually wear, and on that ring it says your pain has a purpose. And for me, that means that whatever I'm going through, there is an ultimate purpose. There's a lesson to be learned through this. A leader that I am very close with, he actually did an episode of the Joshua Bridwell Show with me. His name is David Jones. He will always say that a lesson is repeated until a lesson is learned. And so setbacks and challenges are a really important piece to growth, but they're also a really important piece to your purpose. So like I said, sometimes purpose is shaped by the struggles and the challenges that we overcome. So reflect on some of the challenges or difficulties that you have faced within your life. What lessons did you learn? How did these experiences shape who you are today? And purpose can often be found in the transformation of your pain into a source of strength for yourself and others. Your pain has a purpose. The fourth step is to just have fun, experiment, and take action. It's not something that you accidentally discover. I promise you, anybody successful that you've seen that you believe has this golden ticket of stepping into their purpose, it's not something they came across by accident. And if you see these people on social media that have their 15 minutes of fame, the reason that their fame does not last is because it's not truly their purpose. So purpose is not something that you discover on accident by sitting still. It's something that you find through action. So I want you to try different things. This might look different for me than it looks for you. I expect that. But I want you to try different things. That might be volunteering or starting a side hustle, mentor someone, or take up a new hobby. The more that you put yourself out there, the more clarity that you'll gain about what is meaningful to you and how it makes you feel. So don't be afraid to experiment. You'll likely discover more about yourself by doing rather than just sitting around thinking. So get out there, experiment, and have fun with it. Life is about having fun, getting out there, enjoying the journey. And as you're trying different things, the next step feeds perfectly into this, and that is to seek feedback from other people. Sometimes it's really hard for us to look ourselves in the mirror and get a clear picture. You can think back to the stages of stuck. Sometimes it's really hard to look ourselves in the mirror and get an accurate picture. So ask people that you trust. Ask your friends, your family, your mentors about what they think that your strengths are. And they may be able to offer a different perspective than you can see. And that can help you to recognize your potential and create new paths to your purpose. And the last step is to reflect on your legacy. So within my life, I would ultimately say that my greatest purpose, what drives me, is I want to leave a legacy. The more that I grow, the more that I learn, the more I want to provide for you, the more that I want to provide for my family. I want something to be left behind once I'm gone. And so I reflect on my legacy quite frequently, and I think that you should too if you're wanting to discover your purpose. So I want you to ask yourself, what kind of legacy do I want to leave? Imagine yourself at the end of your life. What would you want people to say about how you lived? I recently attended a funeral for my grandfather. And at his funeral, what I discovered is nobody was really talking about how he ran a newspaper for decades. What they talked about was how he made them feel, the fun stories, the how he lived his life, not what it is that he did. And so what would you want people to say about how you lived, not necessarily about what you did? Reflecting on the kind of impact that you want to make can provide clarity about what gives your life meaning. And I would be lying to you if I said that finding purpose was the absolute easiest thing in the world, but there are common obstacles to discovering your purpose that we need to address. And so many of us will face internal roadblocks on our path to success. So here's how we can overcome a few of the common challenges. The first one is something we've all experienced, and that's feeling overwhelmed. It can feel really overwhelming to take a step back and to think about your entire life's purpose. It's a big thing to think about. Instead, I want you to focus on living purposefully today. Be intentional today. Live according to your values today. Experiment and have fun today. What small step can I take today that aligns with my purpose and my passions? Or my values and my passions, excuse me. And then we all have a fear of failure. Some of us, once we have that fear of failure, we can realize that, hey, this is not something to be afraid of, but it's something to lean into, to grow, but that's not everybody. Remember, purpose is often discovered through trial and error. You may not get it right immediately. In fact, if you did, I would be shocked. I want you to see failures as learning opportunities and stepping stones to greater clarity. When it comes to Thomas Edison and the light bulb, whether you believe that Thomas Edison invented the light bulb or if it was his team is irrelevant in this case, but Thomas Edison said that he didn't fail, but he found 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. And I think that is a fantastic point of view for this. You're not really failing, you're just discovering and gaining clarity on what not to do. And this third thing is extremely difficult for a lot of people, and that is the comparison game. So I started writing a book a while back called Personal Champion, How to Unlock Your Inner Champion and Win. And I talked about campaign comparison, how we can wake up in the morning and the very first thing that we do is we compare our lives to other people, and that sets a precedent for how we live out the rest of our day. And when it comes to discovering your purpose, comparison is a huge roadblock that you have to be able to set aside, but it is not an easy one to do. Don't get stuck comparing your journey to other people's journey. Your purpose is your purpose. I don't care if it makes sense to me. I don't care if it makes sense to other people. Your purpose is your purpose, and it doesn't need to look like anyone else's. It's not going to look like anyone else's. Trust your own path. That is very important. Live your purpose. And living out your purpose starts and consists of your daily practices. So once you've discovered your purpose, the next challenge is to live it out each and every day. Consistency is key. So here are a few habits that can help you stay in line with your purpose. Number 1, I want you to set daily intentions. Start each day by reminding yourself of your purpose. Again, your purpose today may look different than your purpose tomorrow. Your purpose is going to change as you do. And in order to remind yourself of this purpose, you can put a sticky note on your mirror so you can read it as you're brushing your teeth. You can set a reminder on your phone. You can put it on your car keys, on your wallet, wherever. Remind yourself of your purpose each and every day. And it could be as simple as something that you speak to yourself, or it could even be just a reminder of one value that you want to live out that day. Set daily intentions. The second thing that you can do in order to stay in line with your purpose is to reflect regularly. Take time to journal or to think about how you aligned your daily actions with your purpose. When you reflect regularly, you can help yourself stay on track. And this third thing is huge. I created an entire episode about this, but creating a healthy circle. The people that you surround yourself by can either lift you up or it can hold you back. Seek out those who encourage your growth and help you to stay connected with your purpose. They don't have to understand your purpose in order to help you stay connected to it. They are people that are going to bring the best out of you and push you and challenge you, encourage you to fail and to see failure as a learning opportunity. These are really great people to include in your circle. So surround yourself with people that are going to be supportive. Man, this episode, it's got me fired up, but it's important to know that discovering your purpose, it's an ongoing journey. It's not going to be something that happens at one point in time and that's it. By reflecting on your values, your strengths, your passions, and experimenting with different activities, getting creative, and finding out what energizes you, staying open to growth, you're going to gradually uncover your unique purpose that's waiting for you. Purpose is not something that you find. Purpose is something that you create in your daily actions and your decisions. So, discovering your purpose is not something to be scared of, but it is something to be intentional about. And so, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Joshua Bridwell Show. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I hope that at least one of the questions resonated with you. And if it did, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and download this podcast because there's more content coming your way very soon. We post on Mondays at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. So don't miss out on an episode and share with anybody that you think could really benefit from understanding and learning about their purpose in life. And so this has been an episode of the Joshua Bridwell Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in next time. Let's grow.